morning, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 5, Episode 16, DJI Mini 3, high-res photos and possible delay. Marcus Crawford, how are you this evening, my friend?
Not too bad, Bill. Not too bad. A lot of news today, huh? So yeah, lots going on.
We got lots and lots here. I mean, it's a never-ending stream. But first we want to kind of talk about the DJI Mic here in just a little bit. I'm gonna welcome some people here. Jay Bird's in the house, Quadcopters and Tech, Jerry Bauer, Art's in the house, David Martin Graff, Flying Flynn Media, Greg Pittman is here. I know Dr. Ted is in the house. Mr. Stephen Ewing is here. Welcome, Stephen. How are you? Rex is here. Rex, how are you, my friend? Let's see, Leonard Oglesby, Hal 9000. Who else we got? Okay. I think I've covered it all. I gotta say this, and the first thing I want to talk about tonight, we'll get to the Mini 3, and there's going to be lots to talk about. Ron's going to join us here in a little bit. But, one of the things, I actually went out and I watched DJI Mic review. I watched Billy's review on this, okay? And I got to say, Marcus, I was ready to go hit the buy button after I saw it.
Yeah, I want one pretty bad, Bill.
But it's like,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, potentially available June 5th. And I'm like, oh,
that's exactly what happened to me. I'm telling you, Bill, I would hit that button, but I just thought, well, why not just wait till it's widely available and then I'll get it then.
And that's what I'm going to do. Now, I wanted to call out one thing, and I wanted to share. I'm not going to play Billy's video, although I know he would let me do it. But I went through it, and a couple things about this really impressed the daylights out of me, Marcus. And I'm going to say that the first one was, and I'm going to show it's up on the screen, okay? And I didn't know this, okay? That you're able to plug a lavalier mic with that, which I have plenty of these, into the DJI mic, so you don't just have to clip it onto your lapel or anything. And because from Billy's test and watching the video, the sound came out the clearest when you used a lavalier mic. And these are what, $25-$30. These aren't, you're not paying through the nose for this, okay? Which just absolutely impressed the daylights out of me. And I think the other thing, and I want to see if I can find a picture of it. Okay, yeah, the charging case here, okay? You put everything in, Marcus, and it charges, okay?
Yeah, yeah, that is exactly how my Hollyland mic system works, and it is handy as all get out. Trust me on this.
I love it.
To know that your stuff is always charged is really cool. But I'm not gonna spoil it, Bill, because there's some other features that are really cool and unique to this system.
Oh yeah, I know there is a lot, and guys, I've seen a couple of these. Billy, Billy's like this. He's consistent across the board. Whether it's a drone, whether it's a mic system, whether it's a camera system, it doesn't matter. Whatever he's reviewing, he takes a deep dive into it, and he does here, and it just left me unbelievably impressed. And I got to tell you this, Marcus. Okay, at first I kind of like on the price, kind of like doing one of these, but after I saw the review, I'm like, you know what? It's worth every penny of that.
Well, it is, and considering that this guy right here, this is the Hollyland system,
okay,
is very similar, kind of the way it works, and this is a charge case, and I believe it is $349 on Amazon, and this DJI product has even a bigger feature set, and I think is better from a wireless perspective as well. So really, I don't think it's priced out of line.
No, I don't. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about before we move on here is the ability to change the settings. It was super easy. Billy showed how to do that on the video, and I'm just like, okay, this is just, for a microphone system, it's just wow. It's just one of those things that just, and this is one of these things, and it comes with two mics, and if you want to use it as a mic, it's okay. But they also there's a magnet. So if you want to put it in the middle of your shirt, you can still do that if you don't have a lavalier mic with you. the thing I like about that option, Marcus, is not just the magnet, but having that clip on. Okay, for some reason you forget a lavalier mic, you're not dead in the water. Okay, you clip it up to your shirt collar or something like that, and you can probably pick up some pretty decent audio with that.
Yeah. So what I end up doing with these guys is if I've got a t-shirt like this, if you put it on this collar, it's kind of too close and you kind of over modulate. So you kind of have to pinch the shirt and put it down here or something. Well, that's where that magnet would really come in handy.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree 100%. So, so stay tuned for this. Right now it's showing June 5th, but I know what some other people have said they've ordered it and it's come like right away. So who knows? But I'm going to be like Marcus. I'm just going to, kind of like take a seat back here, wait for this. I think this is going to be a real key because, one of the other things is, it'll work with your smartphone. It'll work with a number of different camera platforms. And that's a beautiful thing with this, Marcus. It really is.
Let me ask you, Bill. So do you think this is sending Rode back to the drawing board?
Oh my gosh. After listening to Rode on Billy's test, okay, it was like night and day. I mean, it was like night and day, Marcus. It wasn't even any comparison,
Yeah.
I have to say this, 9 times out of 10 or 99% of the time, when DJI puts their mind to something, they do a great job. They really do. Okay. They put out a quality product. About the only thing that I can see that I'm a little bit hemming and hawing on is the Action 2. I think they didn't think they really kind of geared the modularity part with that, but everything else, it hasn't clicked with me.
Nor I. It's kind of an in-between camera. It's not really an action camera, and it's not really just a regular video camera. So yeah, I think I just didn't quite hit it on that. But this mic system looks darn good, and I think it's priced right. And the day that I go on their website and it says you can hit the button and have it sent in 2 days or whatever, that's when I'll hit that button.
Oh, I hear you. With all the talk about the Mini 3, okay, the Mini 2's on sale. All right. We're getting, there's just so much that's coming on that's saying, that this release is imminent. Okay. It's around the corner here. And let me go ahead and throw that up here. Where did I get that from? Oh yeah, it was on 9 to 5. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen on that.
They sold out pretty quick, Bill. I looked on there today and they were sold out. But buying that Flymore kit for $479, I mean, come on. That is a steal.
That is. I mean, and I can see why they sold out. I mean, that was just absolutely insane. Yeah.
I flew this guy yesterday, Bill, in really stiff winds. I mean, it was where at the altitude I was at, it was sustained about 17 miles an hour with 27-mile-an-hour gusts. This guy handled it just fine. And to put that into perspective, there's no way I would try that with the Autel Nano. The Autel Nano, I'm not saying it would get blown away, but you might be in a situation where you couldn't make much headway with it. So this guy will do it. And it's because, as because of that 40-degree pitch angle.
Yeah, that's a real key to that drone. And I think, once again, here's, and I gotta go back and say this. Okay. Hubson's focus was getting as much as they could on a mini drone as possible. Okay. It was, the old saying, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead kind of thing here. Okay. Fimi, they just wanted to get it out. And with both of them, one of the things that they forgot was like, oh, oops, let's do some beta testing with these. And it didn't happen. Okay. It was painfully obvious that it didn't happen. And you see the results here versus DJI. Excuse me. they go ahead and, you know, they do R&D. They know some things, and, you know, they really wanted to get this, you know, again, under the weight factor, but also, you know, the ability to fly in some more sustained winds. And this is just, I mean, I think it's fantastic.
So Bill, of the mini drones that are available on the market right now, a mini drone that you can buy today, this guy right here, the Mini 2, is still the king. And I know you get a lot of argument from people with the Nano Plus or whatever, but I'm telling you, take it from a guy that's owned 2 of them. Yeah, this is the one to own.
Yeah, I've owned 2 of them. I had the Fimi Mini, and, you know, I was lucky enough with mine that I didn't experience those issues that a lot of people did. I mean, I was real surprised. And I saw Ryan out in Illinois.
Ryan Duvall. Yeah.
Ryan Duvall. Okay. And I saw his, and it kind of gave me some hope. And I kind of had one like his, because I don't think I really had an experience those type of issues that a lot of other people did. And then I cut my losses when I could, and I sold it. I just didn't want to get into the game of firmware updates and, oh, you know, crooked horizon again, and, oh, got to take it back and level it out again, and, oh, another firmware update. Oh, this screwed up. And, you know, no, I was done. I was just absolutely done.
You just reminded me, I need to fly that Fimi Mini again one of these days. I got 3 of them back here. What I was talking about, when I said I had 2, I was talking about the Nano Plus, Bill, and I still have the red one that I originally got, that they sent me the orange one to replace.
Right.
I will say that Autel, unsolicited, when they saw my videos, they sent me that orange one, and that's the one that went in the drink in Florida.
Okay.
And now the red one, I still have it, and I flew it the other day, and you know what? It flies okay, but it still has problems with the obstacle avoidance, significant problems with the obstacle avoidance. So it's not perfect, but, you know, it's a good drone. I don't want to say it's not a good drone. The point that I wanted to make with regard to the Mini 2, hey, there's Ron, as opposed to that Nano, is the fact that there's no other mini drone that cuts the wind like this guy does. None of them are even close.
Oh, yeah.
Fimi Mini is probably the closest. It's pretty powerful, but the Autel Nano Plus, it will not come close to what this guy will do cutting through the wind.
Does the Fimi have the good pitch angle also?
I don't believe so, Ron, but I think what it has is some pretty powerful motors on it, because I
think so.
It moves right along.
I think Marcus is right on that score. How are you this evening, Ron?
Good here in windy and chilly Jersey Shore. We had wind gusts almost up to 50 miles per hour last night into this morning. It's calmed down a little bit. I think we're only at 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts now. So those little mini drones Marcus talked about when cut the mustard down here at Jersey Shore.
Well, that's what I was asking you, Ron. Did you fly your Mini?
I just flew myself. If I just went outside and spread my wings, I could have flown.
Probably. Well, I saw, my daughter had an Easter egg hunt inside on Sunday in Ohio, and it was like, yeah. And then I saw there was some sprinkles of snow on the ground, Ohio and in Pennsylvania, and I'm like, okay, enough's enough. This is let's move on here, folks.
The Pittsburgh people were reporting snow yesterday or last night or whatever, so. The winter just doesn't want to go away here in the Northeast, or
no, it doesn't. And it's it's like Punxsutawney Phil was wrong. Okay, he was wrong. Well, we got a lot to talk about with the Mini 3 tonight.
Oh boy,
it's like you wait 5 minutes and you're going to have more things to talk about regarding this. We got a whole host of things. Now, the first thing I want to get, trying to get it up here.
Ray Kelly's reporting a foot of snow in upstate New York, Bill.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, we're going to start out with, there's an article by Hey Kestelou the other day, and I think this is kind of significant, and it's kind of gotten lost in the sauce with all these high-res pictures and everything. DJI Mini 3 Pro comes in at an incredibly low weight of just 245 grams. Now, way they measured it was a little, I don't know if you want to use the word suspect, but it wasn't on a scale, and you can see how they did
Is that
that.
like a luggage scale, Bill? The way your luggage
or a fishing scale, right?
Yeah, that kind of looks like a luggage or fishing kind of deal right here. And and it's significant. The tool's not very accurate, but I waited several times with less than 250. Deals Drone said in a tweet. Okay, and that's significant.
Don't call it less accurate, Bill. When it comes to luggage, you better be on point with luggage, or you're going to be taking things out right at the counter there.
At the counter, yeah, having to put them in your carry-ons so you don't have to pay. Yeah, I hear you. I mean,
or you layer, you wear 10 shirts.
Yeah, you wear 10 of your shirts.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see my wife doing something like that. But anyway, now this is significant, especially for our friends up in Canada and over in the European Union and other countries, because it allows them to fly this drone without licenses or additional regulations. And I think this is crucial. This is really crucial. And think about this, and I want to toss this question out to both of you and see what you guys think. They've added so many features onto this, but yet it's weighing less. What do you guys think about that?
I think they're DJI.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's why it's going to cost more than people expect, because to miniaturize things, it costs a lot of money. To take what used to be in a bigger unit, any technology, and to shrink it down to a small size for them, that always costs extra money on all your research and development and engineers doing that stuff. So no surprise that more tech on a mini drone, more cost.
I agree.
I think that is such a great point, because it costs to miniaturize things. Ron, you're so spot on there, and we've kind of been spoiled to think that these mini drones are the cheaper end, but I don't know, when you start throwing features on them, they could even be more expensive.
Well, that's our fault. I bet you everybody does the surveys for DJI. When the survey says, what would you like to see on the next mini drone? Everybody checks all the boxes, obstacle avoidance, one-end sensing. Yeah. So actually, it's the feedback from the customers that causes high price. If on those customer surveys, DJI, if you just said, hey, it's just fine with the sensor size it has now, whatever, doesn't need obstacle avoidance, then we'd probably still have an affordable drone, Marcus.
I totally agree, Ron. Go ahead, Bill. Didn't mean to
interrupt. All I was going to say is, these engineers, they get bonuses for how much weight they can save. Okay. I know I have a friend of mine who was, he worked for General Dynamics and he was part of the design team for the F-16. Okay. And they got certain bonuses if they could, save weight in certain areas and still maintain strength in the function and the features. And I'm sure the same thing applies here, that if these engineers can find a way to save another gram, there's going to be a bonus in their paycheck, kind of a thing. That's what I was going to say. Go ahead, Marcus.
Are they making a handshake for Frank Wang?
Get your picture taken with Frank too.
Yeah, Bill, I don't even remember what I was going to say. I'm 66 years old. I'm kind of old.
Sorry, I put the Frank Wang joke in through Marcus.
No, that's all right. That's okay.
Well, the other thing that we saw today, okay, and this, I don't want to say it's a surprise, but Deals Drone, that's place, to be out there. DJI had delayed the Mini 3 release date to May, and this price of rumor, I think, is correct. Okay. Now,
delay, Bill. Say it ain't so, Bill.
Well, I saw Bill Thomas put a comment on, he was out on Drone Nation group, put a comment, you think about it, May's not that far off from the end, obviously, from April 28th. So it's not like we're 2, 3, 4 month kind of delay. So
yeah, but usually when a tech company says a product's coming in such a month, they don't mean that first of that month. They mean the second half of that month, almost 9 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't know anything here, but I suspect that it was supposed to come out in 28th, and it's only 30 days of May. I don't think we'll be seeing it May 1st.
Now, somebody had done some translations as far as the language was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Regular version with screen version, accessory package, regular version, probably adding it on to the Fly More combo. Okay. Now that's in euros, but they said to get a US dollar equivalent, you multiply it times 1.08. So it's 739 for, it looks like at the beginning.
That's Bill, I need to stop you for a second. So the euro is actually stronger than a dollar. So
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you would multiply a dollar probably by 1.08 to get to a euro.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, the math rate, just not the direction. Yeah, the euro's doing better than us here, but and before Bill gets started, these prices are just the straight adjustments. Of course, DJI doesn't have a 39 and 29 price point in the US, so these will either be 99 or 49 price points, more than likely.
Yeah. I did a little math to kind of come up with what I think it's going to be as well. And the other thing, Bill, and I don't want to steal your thunder because you might have been going to talk about it, but the thing that really caught my eye is the endurance version.
Yeah, the question mark.
Yeah, and here's my guess. My guess would be that that is a battery, more flight time, probably a battery that lasts a little longer. That's going to be my bet there.
Okay, now I'm going to throw,
and it may put it over 249 grams, right?
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you think that there's a sacrifice for that endurance version? And you just answered that. Do you think there may be some features that might not be on it to help, get this better endurance? I think they might sacrifice something.
Well, you may just made a great point. That's a good point, Bill. That could be. I was just thinking bigger battery, but maybe you're on. Nah, I mean, they've told us there's only going to be one version, so yeah, I don't know, Bill. Don't know what to say. If I was going to bet money on it, I would bet that it's a bigger battery. Now, does that battery put it over 250 grams? Who knows?
Okay. Well, one of the other things that obviously that everybody's been talking about here, and let me see if I can bring that up. Let's get to, everybody's been talking about these high-res photos, okay? And they're very detailed. This leaves little doubt, what everything looks like on the drone. Definitely from multiple angles. And one of the things I wanted to ask both of you,
a couple pictures of the drone out in the wild there.
Yeah. One thing that I find really interesting here is how the drone sits. Okay. With these little, I'll call for lack of a better term, legs in front right here, just kind of propping it up a little bit versus, having the gear on the arms from before. What do you guys think about that? Because I know one of the things, Rick Smith was very, pro getting landing gear on your drones kind of deal is.
Here's the typical DJI setup with the long legs in the front.
Right.
And it has these, I'll call them feet rather than arms on the back.
Right. Now, one of the things.
Typically the antennas are in this part too, I believe.
You're probably right. Now, one of the things here that Rick had always talked about was, you want to get that gimbal as far away as possible from your landing area because you're going to kick up dirt, you're going to kick up dust, it's going to get into the lens, it could get into the gimbal. He was always a big proponent for gear, okay, for landing gear. I know when we talked before, he's always said that. And, looking at this here, it looks like there's just like almost no clearance or very little clearance between where the gimbal is and where the ground is right here.
One more comment, Bill, looking at that picture, it looks to me like the rear legs fold straight in and it's the front legs that flip around like we're used to. So just the opposite of what we're used to with most DJI drones.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah. Bill, your comment on that. Remember the Mini One? The Mini One, even though it had legs, it sat so low that the gimbal. I mean, if it wasn't a perfectly flat surface, the gimbal would hit the ground when it's doing a gimbal check.
Yeah,
I used
you're
to
right,
hold
Ron.
up when I was doing that gimbal check thing. And Marcus made a comment last night on Drone Nation. Our friend the Scudio 2 also sits completely on the body. It doesn't have any support from the legs.
Yes, it's on the battery is what it does.
So that's Rick makes a good point, and I totally agree with Rick. And that's why there's cheap landing pads anywhere you want to look or whatever. If you're not a hand catcher, definitely get a landing pad for this guy.
Absolutely. Well,
good point, Ron. This to me looks like it's one that'll be easy to hand catch because the props are up a little higher.
I might knock that battery loose though, and then we'll dunk it in the ocean again, Mark.
Well, you see, Fly Zone Drone brought up a good point here too, and thank you for bringing this up. How about the back props affecting the back rear sensors? Okay, that. See if I can find a picture here. Yeah, here's the.
Now, where are the rear sensors on there, Bill?
Right, but
yeah.
It's interesting. Okay, if you look at this picture, okay, it looks like. Am I wrong here, or is this ESC look kind of tilted right here?
It looks tilted, but is that just the angle of the photo, or is it really tilted? I'm not saying one way or the other.
I'm saying it's tilted, and I'm saying that's to get out of the way of those sensors.
There we go. That's that's a great point, Marcus.
Yeah,
that's a great point. So I think we have the answer to that right there. It's just and there's so much to digest with this. I mean, really, when you look at this here, and taking a look at a close up of the front of it, and you take a look and see that there's not much clearance down here. So
especially in TikTok mode, right?
Oh yeah. Oh my. Well,
Bill's gonna be a TikTok star once he gets the that Mini 3 or whatever.
Well, this is also going to do well for the companies that make landing pads, because I think that they will do very well with this drone. Or, like you said, it could be a little bit easier to hand catch. I'm not a fan of hand catching.
Throw a landing pad in with the Firmware kit on this one, huh, Bill?
Yeah, they probably should, and they probably could actually charge something for it, and it would be a good deal to have everything. I mean, one of the other things that that we've seen with all of this is, let's go out and get one of the pictures up here, is the controller, and and I tell you what, guys, it really looks like a regular RC Pro, and I'm hoping, is we had alluded to earlier, that the nits on this will be good enough for everybody to use. That they didn't dumb it down as far as the nits are concerned.
Totally agree. That's huge. I can't imagine that you would bother to put a screen on a controller and not have it bright enough to see in the bright sunlight.
Well, even if they just put a 500 or 600 nit screen on there, that would still solve one of your problems, Mark, because the overheating issue would still be solved.
That could be.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope they go with I'm going to call it a high brightness screen or whatever, but right. I wouldn't bet you a soda pop on it right now, though.
No. Now,
I wouldn't bet you Cherry Coke, Bill.
No, or one of my Cokes here. Now, it would have been nice had there been something on the screen to see right here, but obviously this is out in the wild.
Hey, Bill, I want to stop just for a second. Mikey made this observation today, and I've said it before too. Does that screen look like it's bigger than the screen that we get on the RC Pro, or is it just that the body's smaller, so the screen looks bigger? Which one do you think it is?
That is a good point, Ron. That's a really good point. I don't know. You know what? I think just from looking at it from this angle, it looks like the controller's smaller, physically smaller than the RC Pro. That's just a guess. So if that's the case, then the screen is probably the same size. It's just that the controller's smaller. That's what I think with something like this.
And we don't know. Look, does that look like a man or a woman's hands there holding it?
I
Hard to say.
Hard to say.
Because the arm looks a little thin where the wrist area is. But I mean, I'm judging by us old farts who carry a little bit extra weight on us or whatever. Maybe it's just a young, healthy man.
Now you can see right here, and I wanted to bring this up here. You know, you can see there's a definite, you know, as far the way that the arms are out in the level at where the props are on here. You know, I'm just finding this real interesting right now, and in line with what Marcus was saying about the original Mini and how that really cuts through the wind and cuts through it really well, and the Mini 2 does the same thing. I think Marcus hit a nail on the head with that as well here too, and I think they've carried it forward here. You know, with a little more powerful motors, I think this thing is going to handle the wind very well.
Bill, you're spot on, and also the way they've angled those props too. That could also be. I'll bet you there's some pretty serious engineering that went into making that thing handle the wind, and it will be fascinating to see what the wind resistance rating is on this guy. And like you said, the way it sits there, that's really going to allow it to pitch the way that gimbal is. It's going to be able to pitch.
I remember that. But increasing pitch angle means you have to have a gimbal that can perform to go along with that pitch angle, and that's probably why some of the cheaper mini drones do not have that pitch angle, because their gimbals cannot, you know, perform you know, that angle at those speeds.
You're spot on, Ron. That is so true, and that is the biggest problem with, I believe, Ron. I think you nailed it on the issue with some of the other mini drones that we've seen from other manufacturers. Much of their problems, I think, go back to being able to design a smaller, robust gimbal.
Well, one of the other things that I wanted to talk about, and there's no articles up about it, is the thing that kind of, you know, well, you know, we just saw the thing about the delay, but okay, why haven't we seen this being released on the FCC database yet? Okay, because we've seen everything except that inside label with the certification from the FCC. Really, guys, you know, it's really kind of a mystery. Now, you know, go ahead, and then I'll follow up. Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, while we were talking earlier, I kind of asked an individual about the date, and it was confirmed that it will be late April or early May. So, okay, I'm thinking that we will see that FCC filing, and I think, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, it can even be done like the day before, right? Is that
exactly correct? Well, they did it with the Spark. It was done the day the Spark was released in New York City. I mean, it was done right then and there. But that's a rarity. Okay, it's very rare. But with the Spark, and I'm going back about 4 or 5 years here, because it was 2017 when it came out. Okay, there were so many pictures of it out before we knew it. Okay, and all the pictures from the FCC database. I mean, even before it hit the database, all those pictures, you know, with the ruler and the measurements and everything and the specs, everything that came from the FCC had already been leaked, but it hadn't been officially put out on the database yet, which I thought was kind of interesting that all this information came out, but it hadn't hit the database yet. Now, you know, we get Deals Drone or Cedalev or Jasper Allen's, you know, all well and good, but, you know, they don't have those pictures from the FCC. You don't see those yet, which I find real interesting, you know?
Yeah. And funny, we talk about mini drone here, and the Spark was the first great small drone. By that I mean, like, you know, a small drone that could take HD video and have stabilized footage. It was a revolutionary drone for its day.
It really was.
The interesting thing about the Spark to me is I think DJI inadvertently invented a whole new class of drones. I think they only intended that to be like just a little selfie drone, because you remember all the hand gestures and all that business.
Well, it was sold originally without a controller.
Yeah, and people started using it like a bigger drone, and they saw the market for that, and hence the DJI Mini.
Yeah, they created, Marcus, you just nailed it on the head. You know,
Yeah.
they created a whole nother market segment with these mini drones, and realizing something too, you know, these countries, you know, like in Canada and over in Europe and in other places, you know, this 249 grams, it's a big deal. Okay. And it's a big deal that, you know, it just blows my mind. Okay. And I know Marcus has said this almost all the time. DJI will give us something we didn't know we wanted, but then once we find out about it, we want it. Okay. You know, they're great for that. They're also great for, you know, packing so much technology into an incredible package. You know, and I'm going to divert for a second. Okay. The new Matrice. All right. And I've watched Billy's review. Okay. Billy, you know, you're doing some great reviews. I just haven't had a chance to watch some of them, but I watched his review on the Matrice. Okay. And I got to say this. Okay. That drone, by all rights, when you think about all the technology that's in it, that should be a $30,000 or $40,000 drone. Okay. And they're selling that for $12,000 to $15,000. I mean, really? I mean, you talk about, you know, I don't want to say it's a bargain, but you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. I mean, it 12 to 15K. I mean, I don't have that to burn.
Well, and to your point, for a commercial product, that's actually pretty damn cheap. You know, I mean, commercial products also tend to be much more expensive than
if you guys purchase one, can use my affiliate link.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother story with that.
That affiliate link, Ron, that would buy your new Mini 3 right there, wouldn't it?
There you go. One fell swoop.
Mini 3 top of the line package.
Yeah. Well, that's what DJI needs to do when they sell one of those Matrice drones. That they ought to include a free Mini 3 along with it, right?
Boy, DJI's market people are going to hate us for saying that. Real quick, while we're on the subject of what do you call when you get the money for affiliate? Has DJI have they started up their affiliate program again? Or are they still no affiliate sales?
Still no affiliate, because I went out there recently and, you know, clicked on the affiliate link, and there's nothing out there. Well, they said originally that year that it was for a couple of months and they'd revisit it like in July or August. And that's been almost a year and a half, 2 years since that's happened.
That goes back to the first summer of the COVID, right?
Yeah, that goes back to the first summer of COVID. Yeah.
Bill, the website is active again.
It is. Okay.
It has been for a while. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't been out there for a little bit, so we'll take a look and see. But, you know, with all this being said, you know, about the Mini 3, all right, and, you know, and one thing I want to clarify for everybody, and, you know, our source and our reliable source has accurately told us, you know, because I've seen a lot of talk out on the groups and some of the forums and everything about multiple. There's only one model. Okay. It's a DJI Mini 3 Pro. Okay. There's no Mini Standard. There's no Mini Advanced. It's a Mini 3 Pro, just one model. Okay. Now there's going to be different iterations of that. Okay. You're going to have the Fly More combo. You're going to have the one with the new, for lack of a better term, DJI RC. So, you know, I want to get that squared away, because I've seen a lot of talk about that. And I've either seen other people, drone reviewers, post some stuff out there about the multiple models still. And guys, you know, there's no multiple models. I'm going to say that right now. So we're crystal clear on all this. Okay. So don't be saying, well, where's the multiple models at? I thought you guys, no, we're kind of squaring you up.
We said that last week, Bill, but we're saying something different this week.
Yeah. Don't listen from last week. So
the point, you're making a great point, Bill, because what people need to understand, and I think they misunderstand on a lot, we're simply regurgitating what we see out there from people like Jasper Ellens and folks like
drones.
that. So the information does change, and this is speculation. We enjoy doing that, right? That's part of what we enjoy. We're not telling anybody to take it to the bank.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I will put in that these same people put leaks out about the last couple of DJI drones, and they were more right than they were wrong.
Boom.
Yeah. See, and that's what it is, folks. You know what we do on Drone Nation, what we do here in a lot of the other shows. Okay, we look out at everything. We look at all the information that's out there, and what we're doing is we're presenting it to you. Okay, we're giving it to you, and then what based upon our experience. Now, we've all three of us have been around, around this 4, 5, 6 years. So, we have some history there, and we've seen some things, and we've seen some patterns, and and we know we have some contacts, and we know some people. But the thing is, it's important to let you know and to keep you guys informed, because that's one of the things we're going to do. Now, early on, way back when I first started, okay, and I know this happened on one weekend, and both Ken Dono and I both really fell flat on our faces on this. Okay. It was back in 2017. Ositalev put out something. All right. It was about the Mavic 2. Okay. And both Ken and I, we run out there, get something out there and everything. Okay. And it was just basically like, haha, April Fool's kind of a thing. Okay. So yeah, that's one of those things. Both Ken and I were like, oh, we both went on, kind of did a little mini show, and just, we just, apologize for that kind of stuff. So that's why we're careful with what we get our information from and sources.
To your point, Bill, when I first saw those pictures of what they said the Mini 3 was going to look at, I would have sworn that it was a fake and it was somebody that photoshopped something. I would have darn near put real money on it. But look, it turned out to be pretty damn accurate, didn't it?
Yeah, and that's why I think that DJI authorizes some of these leaks, because it was however that came out a month or two ago, DJI made them distorted a lot. It was a real picture, but heavily distorted. I think that distortion was done on purpose by orders.
Yeah, the box. Ron's right. There was either something on the box or distortion, because the lettering kind of looked a little catawampus there. You do
that software. You could just get some crazy lens, like some crazy. You can buy crazy lenses to do that for cameras.
Or somebody dug that box out of the trash out someplace in Shenzhen.
Out of Frank Wang's trash man.
That could be
Frank Wang's trash guy. That's too good.
Hey, somebody's got to pick his trash up, right, Bill?
Oh, I'd go. I'd do his trash every day of the week. No problem there.
Hey, Bill, you were talking about the new pricing, the new pricing list Jackson put out for the the Mini 3 Pro. Has that new pricing, has that changed your opinion on which kit that you're focusing in on right now?
Well, yeah, in a way, yeah, for sure. If this is based upon the specs for the new controller, if the new controller pans out and has some, the nits are pretty decent, I'm going to go for the whole 9 yards, because
especially you have the possibility of maybe pairing it with your Mavic 3 at some point.
Yeah. I mean, there's also the possibility of that, or other drones, maybe the Air 2S, so it's really it's very tempting, and I'm thinking that's the direction I'm definitely going to go.
And I like the thing that they brought the standalone Firmware package back. That used to be a common thing back in the Mavic 2 area, where there was a set amount you pay for the Firmware kit, and you did not, or it didn't come with a drone, or you didn't have to buy it with a drone. And that kind of went away for a few drones, and now it looks like it's back again for the Mini. And I think that's a good thing, Bill.
I agree. Could not agree with you more, Ron. That was so smart when DJI first did that with the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom. Okay, it was smart. It was such smart marketing, I thought, because you have your drone in its package, and then you have your Firmware kit, and your Firmware kit, it was independent. It didn't matter which model it was, because it went with both of them, which was so smart. Okay,
and you got a discount built in that price over buying all the components separately.
Correct, and that's why for the most part these Firmware kits are good deals. Okay, the only thing that I think for me that I've been like meh on has been the case that's come with them. Okay, the case that you get with these Firmware kits, it's good enough for a day trip, putting it in your car, that kind of thing. Okay, if you're going on a trip somewhere, no, that's not going to cut the mustard.
But Bill, nobody's ever going to give you a hard case with a consumer drone, though, in a Flymore kit. The only time you're going to get a hard case if you buy an enterprise grade drone from a supplier.
Here's an exception, okay? My Autel X-Star Premium, it came in a hard case from Autel, okay? That's about the only time that's ever.
My Evo 2 Pro came with no case.
You know, I'm amazed and I'm not amazed at the same time with stuff like that.
I mean, and the little. I mean, I hope they do get in the Flymore. Marcus, I see what you think. I hope they do give us the kind of the little shoulder bag case that we've been used to with our mini drones. What do you think?
Well, you know, and I got to say this because I traveled with my mini drone when we went up to Ohio in November 2019. I took the original Mini up, and of course, my son-in-law was just, you know, he had to get a bib out because he was drooling at the time. And what was nice was I put it in my carry-on bag. Okay, it was so, you know, and what I did was I had those separate cases that I don't know who sells them. My gosh.
But I had those too.
They're hard shell.
And
you know, it was just a separate case for the controller and one for the drone. And then in my other carry-on little pack that I had all the batteries and other cables and other stuff with that. But it was so easy. And so, you know, it's like going through screening, you know, I just throw it out on the tray, done. Pack it back in the bag. You know, it was a piece of cake to carry. So, you know, traveling with a mini drone is really, really nice. I can say that.
Well, I look forward to the release, whether it's at the end of April or early in May. I'm glad that it's this time of year. We've talked about that a lot. It's nice to get a drone in the springtime, right during flying season, and we'll all just be flying the heck out of that thing.
But it looks like you won't be picking that up on your road trip to Vancouver Island.
You never know, Ron. Like if it is April 28th, that would be my last day on the island. I'll be coming back across into the Puget Sound. So trust me, my first stop is going to be a Best Buy, if that's the case.
Well, I think maybe we can put in a good word with Frank and have him delay it a day or two.
Hey, Dr. Ted's dilemma here. If Dr. Ted got the GoPro subscription plan that saved you $50, that will cover. I think it'll cover the repairs, most repairs. Even if he does have to pay something, it'll be a small, you know, like a $50 or whatever. You know, so if you don't have that plan, then you
might as well just buy a new one. If you don't have the plan. So Dr. B, I suspect, because most of us buy that their subscription, you know, it's $50 or whatever, and they always give you a deal when you buy it. But if you've got that, your repair is covered.
You're good.
If not, like Ron said, I mean, like we were just saying, you might as well just buy another one.
Yeah, you know what I found.
This is not to go off the GoPro too much, but I followed Danny Black on YouTube, and he in that thing, it'll even repair older models. Like it'll repair all the way back to like the Hero 5 or something. And he set him in like a Hero 6 or something like that. And you know, they don't make a Hero 6 anymore. They set him back a Hero 9.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's to put it this way, you know, whatever they call their GoPro refresh. It's a good plan, Bill, for $50.
Plus, you get discounts. You know,
you get the discounts.
Yeah, I think I paid $90 for this guy, and if you weren't part of that plan, I think it would have been $129 or something. So really, I probably paid for the plan right there.
Yeah,
it adds up. Well, you know what I found real interesting here. You know, with I'll call it, you know, the feeding frenzy about the Mini 3. You know, we haven't heard. You know, there hasn't been anything come out on an Inspire 3, the Mavic 3S. We really haven't heard any more clips about that. We haven't heard anything more about the GPS issue with the Mavic 3. I mean, forums are quiet right now. I went out and I checked, and you know, people aren't talking about any of these three subjects right now.
Well, Bill, one of the reasons the Mini 3 could be delayed is because of the ongoing GPS issue. Maybe
that's a good point, Ron.
To the point where they want it to be at. And they don't want to release a Mini 3 Pro and have people complain about, 10-minute GPS times or whatever. So that could be one of the reasons it is delayed, Marcus.
Or the lockdowns in China, Ron.
Yeah,
True.
or a combo of both.
Right.
Very true. Yeah, because well, who was it?
But the bill speculation is the first round of these Mini 3s are already here. So
Yeah, I think
the factory in China would maybe hamper online orders or things like that. But like Bill said, there's probably thousands of them sitting in warehouses in the U.S. already, if not at Best Buy back rooms and B&H Photo Warehouse.
yeah, they're already here.
Yeah.
They don't mess around with that, and you'll find, and that's one of the things that I found right now when it's here in the warehouse. It's not more than 2 days, and it's sitting on my doorstep. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, David Peterson has a question in chat. He said, "Do you think this will have OcuSync 3 or no because it uses the old controller?" I would say we're going to have OcuSync 3. How about you, Bill?
I think so too. I think we'll have OcuSync 3.
Marcus?
Definitely.
03.
Yeah, that's a good question too, Dave. It's going to lend itself to a whole host of great things when you have OcuSync 3. It's a much more stable, transmission system. It's also probably your if you want to use the word efficacy at a distance, you'll have a better quality picture coming back to you at those extreme distances for it. So, all in all, they've done a good thing, and they've come, and I got to say this, guys, they have come light years since Lightbridge. Okay. Remember on the Phantoms. Okay. Yeah. And how problematic it was on the Phantoms. And I think they've come a whole lot. I mean, technology, they've done a great job with this whole OcuSync.
But Bill, remember back in the fan days, though, when you had Lightbridge compared to what you were getting in the other drones with their Wi-Fi, whatever, you thought Lightbridge was the bee's knees.
Yeah, it was. It was at the time, absolutely. Oh, I remember the pain of the Spark. Okay, because the Wi-Fi was Spark. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare that was for a long time. But then it picked up, and as soon as
but even with that being said, though, the Spark's Wi-Fi was much better than the competition's Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
I know a guy that did a really good range test with the Spark.
Wasn't that great of a test? Got a lot of views, though.
Yeah, that was good. So, guys, do you have any closing thoughts here?
Okay, I'll go first. Fly what you got. That Mini 3 will be here when it's here, and we're all going to jump on it, I'm sure. I know people are getting kind of sticker shock. It's kind of the same as what we saw with the Mavic 3. However, everything's going up. Look at the little Nano Plus, everything. I mean, the cost of computer chips, manufacturing, shipping, it's all gone up. And we're going to pay for it with that new drone, no doubt. So, and I do understand people's concern because there's a lot of folks that just can't afford it. So what I'm going to say is, if you can't do that, go out and get one of these guys. If you can find it on sale for $479, like we saw, Bill,
at GameStop, which is in every small town is a GameStop, right?
Yeah, and I checked the website today, Ron. They're out already. But however, this thing is just still a phenomenal.
Can you believe that, Bill? A Flyboard Mini 2 kit for $479?
That's just absolute insanity, Ron.
Yeah,
it's just total insanity.
Yeah. Hey, my closing thoughts are kind of echo of Marcus. I mean, we know that the price is going to be not just higher here, but like almost double what you paid for your Mini 2. But a lot of people don't need obstacle avoidance. A lot of people don't need low light. They fly in the middle of the day all the time. If you're happy with your Mini 2, just stay right with it. OcuSync 2 is great. There's for a lot of people, there's no reason they have to upgrade unless they have special interests like low light and they need incredible signal strength, maybe to penetrate a lot of trees in the area. But don't get all upset about the Mini 3's high prices. just stay with the Mini 2 or whatever. You don't have a drone at all. Mini 2, Marcus loves the SE. There,
Right.
it's luckily, hopefully DJI keeps making these affordable Mini options as well as adding in the Mini 3. Because they're called the Mini 3 Pro, that kind of means to me they will keep the other drones in the line. So I have a complete line of drones at all price points. So that's my thoughts, Bill.
Well, I got to echo what both you guys are saying. And Michael Wright puts it well. Nobody's forcing you to buy this drone, okay? And especially if you have the Mini 2 right now, you have an incredible drone, okay? It does phenomenally for the value for the dollar. And I want to say this again, okay? And I said this when we got confirmation of what the prices were for the Mavic 3, and everybody, it was just like ears were burning about how high it costs. And I said, the first thing that I said, look, okay, for majoring in business in school, along with information systems, one of the things that you learn that there is, with products, a value for that dollar that you spend. All right. And I can tell you this, all right, the value for the dollar that you spend with DJI, if there's a way to measure that, is off the charts. Okay. What you get for that money is incredible. All right. And it's going to be the same way here with the Mini 3. For those of you that want to get one, by all means, go for it. But if you're enjoying your Mini 2 right now, there's no need to, enjoy what you got. Marcus has said it. Ron says it. I say it. I first heard it from our good friend Original Dobo. Fly what you got. Enjoy what you have right now. But I got to say this. The thing that I'm excited about with this Mini 3, because in Florida, if I go to the coast to fly, all right, especially, and it seems to me, and I'm going to say this, because, I spend a lot of time, I live on the Gulf Coast versus the East Coast. I see it being windier over here than on the East Coast for the most part, all right? So I'm looking forward to getting out there and getting to the beach and getting to the Gulf and taking the Mini 3 up and seeing how it will do in the wind. Because I'll tell you what, if it's stable in Florida winds like that at the beach, and Ron knows, because, when we were down at Reddington, that wind was really whipping up. And, in both his Mavic Pro and my Mavic 2 Pro, there was no problems at all flying them. So that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to testing, is to see how it's going to do in the wind. I know we're going to get great video from it. We're going to get great runtime from it. It's going to be exciting. So stay tuned, stay along for the ride. It's going to be fun. A programming note, okay?
Oh, yes.
I will be on Bucket List Boys with Mr. Bill Thomas tomorrow night at what time's the show, Ron?
8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ron's going to be joining us.
The trailer's already up for the
trailer's up. I think I put it out there, so I'm looking forward to that. Bill, we're looking forward to being on there with you. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Maybe the Mini 3 will drop while we're doing.
Maybe the Mini 3 will drop. Who knows? Who knows? But a programming, make sure you catch that, and make sure you catch all of our shows. Okay. We put a lot of effort into these things, and it shows. We have, we get great guests on. We have a great panel on all these shows, so make sure you spend some time and watch them. So with all that being said, hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. As always, guys, great day to fly. Take care.